Really disappointed in the final result. Obviously, I thought it would be a better game. I mean, I think it's the first time since I've been here that we played a team that's on paper and on the field tonight. They showed it better than us. That our football team expected to win the game, and I thought for 3 quarters they played really hard and made some plays. I thought the block punt changed the entire momentum of the evening, and I think it took some of the wind out of our sails, which is really too bad because it doesn't matter the situation, the way we're trying to build them. You just keep fighting and keep fighting and keep fighting and plugging away. And, I mean, bad things can turn to be good. And I thought the defensive effort was really good for 3 quarters, and I thought they gave in the 4th quarter, which is what I told them in the locker room. And then, obviously, they up front, Boise gave us a bunch of fits. We couldn't block them good enough to start anything in the running game. I thought in the first half we missed a couple opportunities on offense. The very first play of the game that Miles got sacked on, Trace Bruckler's running right down he came across the back of the thing and started to run up the side. He's going to come open if we can protect him for a minute. Jordan Porter was about 10 yards behind the secondary, and Miles threw that ball a little bit late, and then he catches it out of bounds, or that's going to be a walk-in touchdown like the one in the second half. I mean, obviously, Christian Washington showed some explosiveness on that kickoff return. I mean, it's kind of where we're at. I said it on Monday, if the result doesn't go our way, it doesn't change our season. It doesn't destroy our football team. I was hoping that I was expecting the score to be closer, and I'm disappointed in the last quarter because I thought we started to give in, and that was some of the attitude that we've beaten out of here. I mean, I'm proud of our football team for the first 3 quarters because they played their tails off, but when you play a better opponent that has a little bit more talent than you, you've got to physically continue to beat them and beat them and beat them. And we weren't able to do that for the full 4 quarters. Go ahead. Go ahead, Rick.
Regarding the O-line, I know Wingfield is still out, but how much do you think is correctable and how much is just physical?
Well, you got to give Andy and Boise State a lot of credit. 99, there's not very many. I mean, Oregon State didn't block that guy last week. They were able to do some things to get around the corner on them better than we were. There's not very many in our league that are. I mean, they're pretty good up front, and the rest of the way, we've got to be more. We got to give our guys better chances with scheme. I think we went into it thinking that we would be able to match up with them a little bit better than we did tonight. And we should have had a better plan for the second half when the first half went the way it went. Our offensive line is still markedly better than we were last year. And I'm not concerned that we're going to have issues like we had. I mean, we'll be fine next week.
Coach, on the subject of that offensive line, it seemed like as stagnant as it felt sometimes offensively throughout the game. It seemed like there were those opportunities where you could test the secondary, Boise's secondary. How much of that comes down to giving Miles those extra 2 seconds, 3 seconds to read, and how much of that just comes to running the route?
Well, both. I think a combination of both. I mean, we've got to consistently win in coverage by the receivers. I mean, we did it a few times and we weren't able to get them the ball. It was kind of when we would beat the receivers, the O-line didn't protect enough, and then when the O-line protected enough, we weren't getting off in coverage. So a combination. I thought Tavian Ford came in there. He made a couple of mistakes. He's really talented at right tackle. He's the one that's going to fill in for DJ. DJ will be out for the remainder of the season. We found out this morning or yesterday afternoon that he has a torn ACL. So DJ will redshirt, and we won't get him back until next year. So Tavian Ford will move over to right tackle, and he did some really good things. He did some things that for a guy that's been at right tackle for about a week. And so we'll continue to get better and address that. If we can create some more time for those guys, and then give them a chance schematically, we'll be okay up there. I mean, they give Boise credit. They whooped our tail up front, and different than last year. Last year we didn't even. I mean, we moved the ball a little bit in spurts. We just killed ourselves with mistakes. And if we can play good enough on defense for a full 4 quarters, we'll have a chance to win plenty of games. But we can't make mistakes on special teams, and we have to move the ball better. Go ahead, Sam.
Coach, halftime, was there anything that you guys talked about maybe doing differently or wanted to try to do differently? I mean, like you said, guys were playing hard, but I mean, was there anything that you guys talked about to try?
Defensively, I mean, it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. We just needed to continue making plays. We gave up 2 long pass plays in the first half. We got beaten one-on-one coverage. And you're going to get beat one-on-one coverage sometimes. I mean, we made as many plays as we got beat on. Schematically, offensively, we tried to get Miles outside a little bit more. We did it early in the third quarter, and Luke drops the ball that's going to be some positive yards. We underthrow Austin on one, and the DB makes a play. So, I mean, we did some things to give the O-line a chance to get outside the pocket and give them credit. They made a couple plays or underthrew the ball. I mean, we've got to execute and finish those things off, and it's going to drastically change.
Was there any indecisiveness that time with Miles just because of how much he was being forced to rush out?
I don't think there was indecisiveness. I thought his progression, I mean, he was seeing his progression. And like I said earlier, sometimes they were winning their one-on-one matchups and sometimes they weren't. And when they weren't winning their one-on-one matchups, he was trying to get out in the pocket and their speed was faster than he was to be able to get outside. So he was either taking the sack or throwing it away. And we can't take as many sacks as we did. The block punt was a sack right before that, which backed us up. And then we missed an assignment on the punt protection. I mean, they're showing an overload to the field, and we block down on 2, 3, and 4, and 3, 4, and 5, and leave the 1, 2 off the edge, and the middle shield guy doesn't block his guy, and so Aaron gets it blocked. And I thought that changed the entire momentum of the game. It was 10-0 at that point, and we were playing good enough on defense that if we can punt it out of the end zone, stop them again. I mean, who knows? I mean, all of a sudden we score and it's 10-7, not 17-7. So,
Coach, do you feel like 31-14 is a score that's representative of how that defense played for the first 2-3 quarters of the game?
No, I mean, 10-0 would have been better. I mean, we're not satisfied with moral victories. They beat us. We played hard for 3 quarters. We didn't play hard enough in the fourth quarter to keep the game close. On both sides of the ball. Our defense did not play good in the fourth quarter. And for us to have a chance to win against a team that's a little bit more talented than us, we got to play hard for 4 quarters. And they wore out a little bit. They gave in. So that's still a mentality thing that we have to change. And they're built to do it, but it's a mental fight that's been going on around here for quite a while that we're still in the process of changing. The good thing is we have a great opportunity. Obviously, LSU is going to be a lot more talented than us. There's not another team on our schedule that is significantly more talented than us. So if we can heal some bumps and bruises from tonight and get healthy, I mean, we're a lot more competitive football team than we were, and we'll have a chance to win games.
What disappointed you about the offense?
I can't say the words I want to say, but we got physically beat up front. We weren't good enough. I thought going into the game we would be able to block him a little bit better than we did. I knew we'd have trouble with 99 because he's a really good player and he's big and strong. We did some things in the gap scheme game early on and weren't able to block him like we thought we could. So we tried to move to get some of the perimeter game. They're better than we are up front. It won't be the case forever, but they were tonight, and we'll keep plugging away at them.
As far as the offense goes, any thought to make a quarterback switch?
Nope.
To spark the offense?
Nope.
Why is that?
Because it wasn't Miles' fault when those guys are in his face so fast. I mean, he's moving around the pocket. He's doing his part. He was managing the offense just fine. We got physically beat up front. We've got to give him a chance, a little bit better chance schematically. If we underestimate our ability, we got to be able to adjust better in the second half, and I don't think we adjusted well enough.
And special teams, can you talk a little bit more about just what happened on the punt block?
Yeah, I thought I was pretty clear. The 2 guys blocked down. We knocked the 2 guys up front. We have 2 coming off the edge, which we leave by design for the 3 guys that we have back there in the shield. We kick out 1. We don't kick out 2 like we're supposed to, and he comes unblocked. And OJ misses him, and the punter, Aaron, should have had a little bit more sense of urgency when he sees that coming, but the protection is designed to kick out the 2 in front, and then we'll get some better coverage out. The next one, obviously, we punted out of the end zone, and we went with a heavy protection, which means block everybody down inside, now you have no coverage. And if the ball isn't kicked extremely high and well, which he's going to have to one-step it because he doesn't have any room, they're going to get a decent return. They did. They returned to our 30. Now, we kept him out of the end zone. It kept him off the scoreboard because we intercepted the ball. But when the game's 10-0 and you've been playing pretty well on defense and you can kick the ball to the 50-yard line, you can keep him out of the end zone, and you can keep your team in the game, you got to execute that. We didn't execute it. What else? Anything else? All right. I hope you all come back next week because it'll be a really good football game. We've got a good opponent coming in with an opportunity to compete and win another football game. I mean, we're competitively a lot better. We just got to keep going. It's year 3. We're probably exactly where I thought we'd be. And I expected to win the football game tonight, and we didn't win it. So I'm disappointed for our football team, but nothing's changed. The result does not change the outcome of our season. We're excited. We have a great opportunity next week. We get a day off tomorrow for them to heal and get in the in the training room, and then they'll lift on Sunday night. And then we'll practice next week and get ready for a normal Saturday game against UTEP in our stadium, and I hope a whole bunch of people show up. And I hope the people that in this town don't look at the score and think that it was indicative of the final outcome of the game, because the game was very, very competitive for 3 quarters. And we're building this program, and it's a team that this city should be proud of, and they should come out. And we're going to continue to build this program. I mean, I'm proud of our football team because we've gotten better. There's no moral victories around here. It's about winning, and our team expected to win, and we didn't finish it in the 4th quarter. So thank you. See you all next week.